Actually, I actually have this turned on this time.
Sure.
I hope so. I should work. Good evening, everyone. So I actually recorded a video prior to this, and what ended up happening was I didn't have this thingy on. So this entire wonderful spiel that I had done was no good. It didn't work because I didn't record it. Or I did record it, but I didn't get my voice. So that was dumb. Anyway, so I just wanted to reintroduce myself because I know at one point I did try to do videos before, but things changed. There's a Carolina wren at our bird feeder. We have several bird feeders, and they come quite often to do whatever birds do, eat the food, make a mess with the food. Huh? Yeah, the bread that we put, because I've been watching this guy. He staples bread onto trees, and I thought, oh, that'd be kind of cool. And it was just fun. But we put a piece of bread in the tree, and the birds have been kind of pecking at it when we forget to put bird seed out, and they yell at us when we forget to feed them. I think we're trained at this point. But anywho, like I was saying before, I'm starting something new. I get off on tangents quite easy, so I'm sorry about that. So basically what's going on is some big changes in my life are happening. Something that God has basically put on my heart. He's told me flat out what I needed to do, and I intend to do it. Some wild stuff, you know. Anyway, one of the things he's wanting me to do is to do videos, which is weird. And I mean, I don't hardly really do like selfies and stuff. So it's kind of weird, but whatever, it is what it is. I straightened my hair today. I've decided that my hair being straight is actually a little bit more manageable versus the curls I usually wake up with. You'll eventually meet my violent curls, don't worry about it. But basically, a week ago, I was told to do something, and I kind of put it off, and I'm suffering kind of the consequences of that. And I can't go into detail about it, but some things happened, and now I have made a very, well, I'm doing what God told me to do, which I can't say right now due to other extenuating circumstances, which is bizarre. There's like so much I really cannot simply say. Eventually, it will all come out anyway, and I'll tell everybody or whoever knows. But basically, last night I was like, God, really? Videos? I'm going to be posting videos? Weird, right? It's weird. I don't want to be argumentative or anything, but like, and I don't want to be Gideon saying, hey, can you, make the ground dry and the fleece wet, vice versa, whatever. I don't want to do that. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. So last night I went to bed after I'd prayed this. I was on my knees in my bedroom, just praying. He's been telling me a lot here recently, and I'm listening. And he told me why. I've been through a lot in my life. I'm not comparing myself to others at all. But I've been through a lot in my life. And he can use me in my in what I've been through to help other people to navigate the world around them, bring them closer to him. Help them to help those who need that help and need that understanding that you're going to stumble, because I will reveal my sins. I'm writing a book, which is one other thing I pointed out to him. I was like, God, I'm already writing a book. What's the point of this? Well, the book will lead to here, which will lead to kind of like not necessarily a study guide, but something. So I don't exactly know how many videos I'll make or how long I'll do this. It really just depends on what happens. I'm gonna try to put out a video like one a week, maybe. So we'll see. Sorry, I'm like watching the birds and stuff too. I can't necessarily turn my camera around, even though you can kind of see a lot in the reflection of the window. But I can't really, you know, turn it around just for the simple fact that, too many prying eyes. And I'm not going to be giving names because, people will be like, oh, well, she's talking about me. No, because if I don't give names, if I don't put names to anything, you can just have your assumptions. And if you think I'm talking about you, I'm not going to confirm or deny either of those. Because I know eventually a lot of this will be found by other people who will be in these situations, these stories, these everything. But I'm only going to tell it, obviously, from my point of view, from my part of it. Again, sins and all. So my book that hasn't been published yet, like I said, it will kind of be like a guide that, you could kind of read. You can read the whole blooming thing in one sitting. It's not a very long book, but there's a lot in it. So I'm thinking, I mean, you can buy the book or not buy the book. You could just watch the videos because it's going to be like the same thing. But, you can make your notes in the book. You can, we're going to talk about stories in the Bible. We're going to talk about, oh, my hair's still dry. We're going to talk about stories in the Bible. We're going to talk about stories in my life. We're going to, it's all going to be, sorry, there was a cicada. It flew into the ground. There's just going to be a lot. And I want to be open and honest because, again, somebody out in this world may or may not be going through the same thing, but is dealing with something. And that person, whether it's just one person, at least I've done something. One of the main things that we'll be discussing is there's going to be a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of, there's going to be a talk of abuse. There's going to be talk of, what is it? When something happens that's against you, like not et tu brute kind of thing. I'll talk about my late husband. I'll talk about what happened in 1998. Pretty sure it was 1998. Might have been 1997, but I think 1998 is where I saw the newspaper clipping. It's been a while, so my memory's not that great on it. We're going to talk about everything because that's what God wanted me to do. And apparently, at some point, for a little while, this is where I'm going to do it on my front porch. I built this thing for free, not a free parts, just FYI. A lot of this stuff came from the house that we moved into. This is a family house. It was built in 1950 by my great granddad. This is a really cool house. Actually, when I was younger, we lived in this house. So, and that's part of what happened in 1997, 1998. So that'll be fun. So this is, like I said, this is just going to be the video that I start off with where we, more or less get a feel of what's going on. I am a Christian. I don't curse. Excuse me. I had some really disgusting pickle popcorn a minute ago and it was burning my nose and everything. It was terrible. I will not do that again. Anyway, It's all going to be clean, but, well, the stories are going to be, unfortunately, well, some of the stories are going to be not good, but it's a journey and we can all go through it together. The book will also help me to, like, put my thoughts into some kind of, and it's going to, there are memories, things that I've lived through, things that I've had to deal with. Some things I went through alone and some things I didn't. The book will be my guide too, because I'm able to write it all out and I won't have to try to remember, did this happen first or did this happen first? I actually had to ask um, other people, like, did this really happen? And they tell me if it did or not, because I actually I do, during certain times of my life, I don't remember certain things very well because apparently I'd like zone out or something. I don't know, but that'll come up later when I talk about when I was kidnapped and stuff. So, which makes sense. I would want to zone out during that time, but we'll talk about that later. So, it was good to meet everyone. If you're interested, subscribe, like, whatever. I don't know. I don't do this kind of stuff. I usually watch other people do stuff. I'm trying to think of somebody that I watch that, hummingbird. Cool. All right. Welcome to the channel. And let's do something. Oh, and sometimes I'll crochet, so keep that in mind.